Today's lesson is about summarizing, and summarizing is something we're going to be using while we are reading stories. And to summarize means to tell about the most important parts of a story. So when we read a story, okay, every couple of pages we just summarize quickly the most important thing that happened on those 2 pages, okay? And tips while you are tips for summarizing is, like I just said, you tell about the most important things, okay, because it helps you remember, so that when you continue reading you remember the most important things from the previous pages, okay? And you keep your summary short. You don't use lots and lots of details. You just use a couple of sentences to summarize the most important parts, okay? And you usually, when you're summarizing, you're following exactly the same order that the author has written in. So you summarize one step at a time, beginning, middle, and end, okay? You don't mix the order of the events. You should remember to keep the sequence, okay? And then, of course, when you summarize, you use your own words, so that you use simple language that you understand and that you will remember. That's another reason why we use summarizing, is for those people who have a little bit of difficulty understanding the difficult vocabulary. We can help them by summarizing the most important parts of the story in simple English, okay? And then you, again, I've already said this, but I'll read it again. You summarize to help understand and remember, so that by the time I get to the end of the story, I still remembered what happened at the beginning and in the middle, okay? And we use summarizing every single day in our lives. I'm sure that when you go home, when your parents ask you what you did in school, you usually tell them about the most important parts. You don't you don't sit down there and you tell them every single little thing that happened to you. No, you just pick out the most important things that happened, and you would usually sequence it from the beginning of the day until the end of the day, and you would tell your parents what happened in your own words, okay? If something good happened to you, if something bad happened to somebody, you might tell your parents about it. So summarizing is used to help us remember and understand in simple language, okay? There are some things you shouldn't do when you're summarizing, and that is to tell about things that are not important, okay? And you also don't include your own opinion or your ideas. You're not allowed to say, yeah, but I think this should have happened. No, when you're summarizing, you're just saying what happened in your own words, but not with your own opinion, okay? And you don't change the meaning that the author is trying to get across. You don't say, yeah, but I think that this is what he meant. No, you have to say what the author is trying to say with his or her meaning, okay? And we will be using summarizing in every story we read. This is what we usually do. We stop every 2 or 3 pages, and I ask some questions, and you summarize for me the most important details. And this, again, it's important for you to know, so that you can remember all the important events in the story, and this will help you when you come to do your end of selection test. Then you already have a summary up in your head, and it will help you to answer the questions, and at least to know where to go and look for the answers when you have to answer questions. Thank you very much, grade 4. Bye-bye.